Hello. So I'm Vaibhavi, and um, I'm a person who likes to, uh, just move across forts and palaces of India. And it is with this reason that, you know, when you go to such places, it just makes you, go travel time, back into how they were built and constructed and how people lived their life at that time. I mean, they're not just spaces. These are the spaces which were built with such a vision. Be it the way they were built for the safety and security of people, the way they were, fortified so that they are safe from the attacks of the enemies. The way there were tunnels connecting from one place to another, so that if there is some possibility of an attack, how people would move in those tunnels, and how those spaces were well ventilated at that time. uh, the way these spaces had enough ventilation, air circulation, and the light that it needs to have, the way they were made, like even in the times of summer seasons, the way they had um, enough scientific element that made the place cool, or the way it made it a little warm while in the times of winter, is a wonder to watch. I mean, it's a complete wonder to see how these spaces were created, even with well, you know, thought rainwater harvesting system, to make sure that so many people would live across these forts, because some of them were forts with so many people living in the fort, in those safety structures. The way the storage system was, I think it's wonder to, or even it's an awe to think about these magnificent structures. One such magnificent structure that I've been visiting from past so many years, and which I would like to share, is Amer Fort, which was also known as Amber Fort sometime uh, back. And um, and I completely got fascinated to this fort because of the way it was made by several rulers over a period of time. Of course, there are many which you would make an impact on you, but to me specifically, Amber Fort is something that I would like to share a little about today. And if you would see, and I would like to share the Rajasthan, tourism site. Uh, and if you would see the structure, um, the pictures itself talks about the grand, space that was created with so much of thought. Each element, each work done in the fort is built with so much of thought. Be it mirror work, glass work, be it colors that were very organic and naturally derived from vegetables, and natural um, elements around, is an awe to watch. And if you would see a little history over here, now this was Amber Fort. And Amber Fort, basically, if you see information here, it is in the Aravalli ranges. And basically, prior to Jaipur, Amber was the capital of Kachwa Rajputs, and after that it was Jaipur. Now this was basically it was basically occupied, or um, it was basically under, if you see over here, under the reign of the Meenas. And Meena Karigari work you must have seen um, is why this place was, inhabited by the Meenas, and then later over uh, they were taken over by the Kachwa uh, dynasty in the Dhundar region. And then to talk a little about history, Raja Man Singh I, started the construction of this new palace complex in 16th century. And after that, Raja Man Singh I, Mirza Raja Jai Singh I, and Savai Jai Singh II, made extensions to this fort, and it got built up and up. There were, complexes built by these rulers, and so when you see now the entire system, it's a huge fort built with all the thought processes of these visionary leaders. And you would be able to see the interiors of these structures really built well. So I would just like to share a screen of uh, the original pictures that we took while we were in Jaipur for all these years. Some little pictures, and um, of course, I'm not a great photographer, and I'm not a historian to talk about Amber Fort so much, but I'm just here to share um, this fort's magnificent um, style to all of you, and the way it was, its interiors and exteriors are. So if you see this is the view from the road from which you would be able to go to the fort, the Amber Fort, and you would be able to see that beyond this Amber Fort, um, you would be able to see some a fort above Amber Fort, and that is, I would just share my spotlight, and this is the Jaigarh Fort, and this Jaigarh Fort was made to secure Amber Fort. It's not a fort; it's basically a palace complex which was made for the rulers to live here, and this fort was made to make this place a secure place for them to live. And so you will be able to see the grand structure standing, still tall and beautiful, with nothing broken yet. It still stands tall, straight, bravely, with all these years that have moved behind. And this is the palace complex, and you'll be able to see, you know, the entry gate to the fort from one side, and this is the entry gate that pedestrians use to. So there are two entry gates. One is from the front, from the place that we viewed the fort right now, and where people could just walk through, take good plans at the fort and the way it is made, walk through and make an entry from here. And then there is one entry for the people who would like to come to the fort from their own vehicles, which is a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler. So there are two entry gates to the fort, and this is the entry gate from the pedestrian side. You will be able to see, this large structure in front of you, and this is the temple which is used by, which is uh, originally of the Maharaja of Jaipur, and you'll be able to see the fort just near to the temple, and again one more palace complex here as well. These are some walkways and they're quite inclusive. You'll be able to see that, um, these are not the steps, but these are the places, where you would be able to have your, um, if somebody has to be, if there isn't, there is, that there are your older, grandparents or parents, they would be able to move through the wheelchair and all. So they are all uh, inclusive spaces. And this is another structure that you'll be able to see, quite old and quite original yet, and it just reminds me of the way in which people lived at that time. Um, these are, those windows. This is basically from the Zanana Mahal side. And, since they had to, they wanted that ventilation, the Zananas, which means the female's residence, the queen's residence and her workers' residence, where people, would like to take a little sunlight, air, and would like to see outside the structure. There was parda system, right? I mean, parda system in the sense they were not allowed to move out in front of people. So they had this spaces from which they were able to see, outside. Here you'll be able to see, another window, which is very beautifully carved. You'll be able to see here the carvings that are done, the way they are, very intricately carved. And you'll be able to see, from here also the Kesar garden that's in front of the palace. Very few pictures that I have put up here, but you'll be able to see the, the palace to some extent. Here, this is Amer Fort, and you'll be able to see the Jaigarh Fort from here. And there is a tunnel which connects Amer Fort to Jaigarh Fort directly, which has been open for people. And I have been taking, uh, this road to reach Jaigarh Fort, and it is extremely comfortable. And you'll be able to experience how people moved across this spaces. This is again a palace complex picture, and you'll be able to see how large it is. You'll be able to see the walls constructed around the palace. See, these are all walls, and you'll be able to see how it was constructed at that time to secure the fort, right? So it's a tila, and this tila is basically fortified with this structures, this wall, so that it remains safe. These are some of the interiors, and you'll be able to see how long. Look at the height of the building, of the wall. Look at the way the spaces are. The doors are, and this is one again grand interior Baradari. Um, you'll be able to see once you enter the palace complex. And look at the glass and mirror work made so well, and each one, I'm sure, conveys something. If you put a candle on one of the side of this particular work, you'll be able to see lights around with that one candle. And now this, after like I think in the year 2013, ASI stopped, the people uh, to come inside this place. So now it is safely secured from outside. Nobody's allowed to, go inside and take the pictures. So these are some of the pictures that we took from outside. Look at the way this mirror work is done, and look at the way these mirrors are installed high up on the ceiling, and the height of the ceiling. This is the Ganesh entry, Ganesh pole. Basically, you'll be able to see the image of Ganesha, and that is why it is known as Ganesha pole, which means it's a gate, Ganesha gate. And you'll be able to see all this work. It is still uh, as it is, because it was made with all original colors, and these original colors were extracted from vegetables. So these are all organic colors. All, look at the way the colors are, and even this work, the way they have been thought about. So this is the interior which you'll be able to see from here. And that's it from my side. If you go to Jaipur, do not miss on, Amber Fort, because it is a, it's not just on, a place where people just move, see, go out. It's a place to experience. It's a place to recollect how people lived in the past. It's a legacy that, this uh, the way these rulers envisioned their era at that time. And I really felt so touched by the way it was made. Uh, and there are more aspects to this place, and I've not completely justified that. But if you go, you'll be able to experience, uh, that part. And yeah, thank you, and hope you visit Amber Fort whenever you are in Jaipur.